This is the remix. The Jeeps pump this new remix. This is the remix.
Welcome back to Memoirs of an Insecure Girl. How are you guys doing? What's going on? I am Courtney, as you should know by now, but if not, I am Courtney. Thank you for supporting Memoirs of an Insecure Girl. We made it. If you're watching this, you're breathing, you're living, that means you made it 2016. Last time I left, I was telling you guys to have a great new year. We talked about fighting for our peace. And so we're back. We're back, and it's a blessing just to be, as old folks used to say, to be among the living. And so it's a blessing for us to be back in a new year. So I hope you had a great new year. So let's just jump in, as I always say. All right, so let me ask you this. No. When you think about the word no, for some people, no, it's easy just to say no. I can't do that. Can't make it. That's not in my plans. No, I don't plan on doing that. No. Some people, it's easy to say the word no. However, what about those times when it hurts to say no? It hurts to tell somebody that this isn't going to work. It hurts to say no when you say, I can't stay here. It hurts to say no when you see that you are growing out of areas that used to fulfill you. It's hard to say no. It's not as easy to say no. When you're talking about that shirt, picking between that shirt and those shoes, and you know that it doesn't go, you say no, that's easy because those are just temporal things. But sometimes we have to make life decisions to say no. It says to be sober minded. And it says, to not put your spirit against your flesh. That you're supposed to always go about the desires of your flesh and always go into your spirit. Always be sober minded in pleasing your spirit versus pleasing the desires of your flesh. So when I think about my own personal experience of having to say no happened many times when I was saying no. I have to honor God. I said I wasn't going to have sex. I said that I was going to honor God with my body, honor God with my temple. So no, I can't do this. And for a long time, it was uncomfortable because I was so used to saying yes. I was so used to saying, okay, I'll do this. It's not gonna please my Father, but I'll just go and repent. But when you genuinely want to please God, when you want to deny your flesh, you want to resist your flesh, and not just in just physical terms, but saying no to a job, saying no to something in your life that you've always considered highly important, and God starts to shift you, and he starts to put you in different places. He starts telling you things he wants you to do, and sometimes the plans what you have for yourself don't go with the plans that you have used to have for your life, and you have to say no. And sometimes, genuinely, it does hurt. It says to refuse to be a friend of the world, because to be a friend of the world makes you an enemy to the Lord. I don't know about you, but that requires a decision. It requires you to decide, am I going to be a friend of the world? And as I say, taking the world's delicacies, which will eventually leave you dry, that will eventually leave you empty for its just temporary feelings? Or would I rather be pleasing with God and this is eternal, and allow me in following him, it's always going to renew me. I'm never going to be forsaken following Christ. It may hurt for right now, but I know that eternally in the future, following Christ is always going to be more satisfying than trying to please people, trying to please our jobs, trying to please people that eventually they're not worried about where you are going spiritually. Be sober minded, thinking about the things that are important to Christ. I value the power of my no, because I know the power of my no pleases my King. It pleases Jesus Christ. I know that pleasing my Father is better than pleasing any person, anything. For it might hurt for a little bit, but eventually that is what's going to please my Father. I don't want to be an enemy with my Father. I'd rather be an enemy with the world and displeasing them and them not understanding what God has called me to than trying to please them and not pleasing my Father. So like I said, it's about a decision. It is about a decision. It's about our stand. It's about making bold declarations about who we serve. We serve a risen King who will come back, who will question every choice that we made. I hope that helped you. And it stings a little bit, but it's very important just to be able to to have our mind on the things of Christ. The power of my no saved my life. And if I can help anybody else, if I can encourage anybody, if I can leave anything with you, it's to remind you that your no is powerful, because your no always strips you from your flesh and it pleases your spirit. It pleases God. It pleases your Father, who watches down and looks low, and he sees what you do. He sees what you do in private, and he sees what you do outside. And saying no will save your soul. I hope that helped you guys. Thank you guys for your continued support. Remember, your story could change a life. Hey, like this on YouTube. Please share it. Subscribe. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great day. All right, be blessed.
Play this remix. This is the remix.